Yeah, it was. And we had some people. One of my favorite pictures, because I still remember him vividly from my childhood, even though I wasn't in Detroit. My favorite pictures is me, you, and Mark Fidrich. I have a picture of the three of us because he stopped by and hung out with us one night. And just talk about him for a sec, because the cool thing for me was, they say, never meet your heroes. Look, I remember where I was on that Monday night when he pitched against the Yankees. I was in my bedroom watching that game on TV in Virginia, and it was just as incredible to me as I'm sure it was to people in Michigan. But what a prince of a guy he was.
Well, that's funny you say that you were in Virginia. So was I. I had just signed, and I was in Bristol, Virginia, watching that game. Yeah, and vividly remember it. And kind of, I think everybody in the minor league kind of patterned themselves a little bit after Mark, just because of his not talking to the baseball, but just his antics, his energy, and the way he kind of stalked around the infield. I think a lot of people kind of he rubbed off on a lot of people in their own individual way. He had a little bit different stuff with me, a little bit with Jack, a little bit with everybody, but he certainly had something to say, I think, with all of us as we were coming up through the minor leagues.
That's really cool. That's really cool. We were talking before we went on. First of all, just fill the folks in. How much were you able to take in last night between battling sleep as it approached 3 a.m. before that game ended?
And I mean, last night, but I'll be honest, some of them it's hard to stay up. You do your best, but last night
it's almost 3 a.m.
But last night was one of those riveting games, though. I mean, that one kind of had you right from the get-go, and I kept it on, but I fell asleep, and then I'd wake up and, oh my gosh, what's going on here? And then you'd watch a couple innings and then fall back asleep and then wake back up. Oh my gosh, they're in the 11th inning. Now it's the 14th, and then the last thing, after watching most of the extras, being woken up by the Freddie Freeman home run. And it was just incredible. And just to wake up in the morning and then go and I have an app that you can go back and watch every out or every play, which I did this morning. Even though I saw a lot of it, I wanted to go back and make sure I didn't miss anything, which was a thrill in itself.
Peaches, when you watch a game like that, and I know you guys had a game like that you broadcast with Dan Dickerson with the Tigers, the 15-inning game against Seattle. Is there a place your mind goes as a player that you reflect on as those games are going on? Do you still think like a player?
That's a really great question. I do. When I am working, I do try to put myself in whoever's pitching in their shoes and kind of think along with them, whether it be the Tigers or the opponent, and kind of how they're going to go after the Tiger hitters, that kind of thing. But I'm listening very carefully to Joe Davis but especially John Smoltz, who I think has just done a tremendous job. And just like what he brings to the audience, how he does it, what kind of little nuggets does he, like to pass along, and it just seems like he's like one step ahead of what's going to happen all the time, and I've really enjoyed doing that, just trying to listen to the greats and how they do it, and see what you can pick up that way.
Yeah.
Hey Peaches, what was the longest game you were a part of as a player?
You know what? We had one against back then the Indians, Cleveland, and I think it was a 19-inning game, and it got called, I think, because of curfew, and then all the stats counted, but we had to come back and replay the game in a doubleheader later in the season. It was one of those crazy things, but yeah, it was, and that's a long game. But how about, what was it, 6 hours and 39 minutes, I think, last night. And then that one in 2018 was almost an hour longer. So the pitch clock took an hour off of that game last night. But man, I mean, can you imagine what those guys went through to stay that intense for that long of a time?
I sent Dan Dickerson a text after that 15-inning game, because we had you guys up and we had the TV up, because we used a lot of your calls from the Tigers playoff run. And I just told him how impressed I was with the job that he did, the job that Adam Amin did as broadcasters, because, man, I know that's exhausting. Because I'm telling you, we sat here in the office, and it was so intense we wanted to puke. And I just imagine, talk me through you as a broadcaster who's also kind of wearing that ex-player hat as well. What was that 15-inning winner-take-all Tiger experience like for you?
You know what? I said the same thing to Dan after the game. I said, great job. I said, look, I tried to match your enthusiasm, your intensity as much as I could. I mean, because that was a 5-hour game, and you're there really early, doing prep work and interviewing players and going to listen to their interviews. And those are long games, but the game, you forget about all that, and the game just overtakes you, because it's so exciting. And there were so many moments in that game that you said, oh, here it is. Tigers are going to score right here, and they don't. And then the bottom half of the inning, this is it. Mariners are going to score. And then they don't. So it's just it's the emotions, and it's a tug of war, because it's you got this high, and then you got this low, and then you're right back high again because the Mariners don't score, and then right back again. The Tigers have a couple more on base, and then they don't score, and it's just up, down, pulling you every which direction. And it was so much fun, but such a letdown when it was over. Dan and I had brought a change of clothes, because I've never been a part of this other than a player, but we were going to go down in the celebration and interview the players. And I was just so excited about going down and being a part of that celebration. And I was like, I'm going to have a beer with one of those guys. I don't know who it's going to be. I hope it's Derek Struble or somebody like that. But I'm going to be down there celebrating, and I'm going to drink a beer with one of those guys. And just to have that kind of taken away, and that anticipation of that happening, it was just so many different emotions, something that I'll never forget.
Well, you also are among the group of men that has earned a World Series ring in this sport. When you get to this time of year, and I like to ask people about the drive down the road test, when you're driving down the road and you reflect on 1984, is there a moment that comes back to you more than others about that whole experience?
Yeah. I mean, I was trying to think of other ones, and there's a lot, as you can imagine. There's always things that pop in, about the beginning, the middle, the end, just everything. But it's crazy. But I think back to that our house that we were in, and we didn't have kids then. My wife was pregnant at the time, and it was just, I think back to that time, and that was 41 years ago, and that's the one that keeps coming back, is that the house we lived in, and the celebration and all of that kind of stuff. It was just, that's the one, for whatever reason, keeps popping back into my head.
That's awesome. But you know what? That's real life. So there's baseball and there's real life, and they go on simultaneously. And sometimes you forget that outside of whatever happened last night, these guys all have real lives that they're also living. And those moments within their lives, wife having their first child, whatever it is, that's all part of the experience as well.
Yeah. And, I don't know the situation, and the Dodgers are experiencing that with Vesia, I believe it is, with that moment that they're having that they haven't announced. So that's and Freddie Freeman, everything that Freddie Freeman has been through, and to the cliche is, it couldn't happen to a better guy. Him hitting that grand slam last year, and then hitting that game-winning home run last night. Yeah,
no doubt about it. Hey, you always talked about, and we've talked about it before, and it's funny because, Al Kaline will tell me 67 fueled 68. He told me that story a number of times. And you've told me before 83 fueled 84. Just share that a little bit.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I just, there wasn't the wild card back then. You had to win the division to make the playoffs. And we were fighting the Orioles in 1983 right down to the wire. And I think we won 93 games, something like that, 92, 93, and had a heck of a year and didn't qualify for the playoffs. So, and then the Orioles ended up winning the World Championship that year in 83. And we're like, you know what? Oh, Canner, I can see Canner nodding like, oh, yeah.
Our resident Oriole fan over here.
So, but, you know, and I think we were looking at that saying, you know what? That can be us because, you know, we fought them and we know we can play with them, and that can be us. So it was like all winter long, it was just simmering with all of us. Just we're going to come back and we're going to be ready to go and get if we can just get off to a good start, we kept saying. And of course we did at 35-5, but, you know, also helped out with some wonderful moves that the front office made to kind of put us over the top. And Willie Hernandez, Darrell Evans, Dave Bergman, people like that, you know. But and I think the Tigers are experiencing the same thing. You know, when they had that little taste last year, that fueled them all winter long going into this year. They got off to that great start and then, you know, came up a little bit short in the DS. But I think they're going to sit around all winter long this time, too, thinking, hey, we're ready to win it all next year.
I'm going to ask you what might on the surface be a crazy question, but because I know aside from winning it in 84, there were other disappointments that you had as a Tiger where you felt like you were good enough to win it again, or we talked about 83. Was 84 absolutely the best Tiger team that you were ever on, or is there another one that comes to mind and you say, daggone it, we could have done it that year too?
No, I mean, the 87 team, that was disappointing because that was the one that, you know, we just had to fight the Blue Jays right down to the, you know, to the wire, ended up winning the division, and then having to go to Minnesota, which was a little strange, open up there. And that was one that, you know, I just look back and say, you know what, there's no way we're going to lose to the Twins. We're going to the World Series again. I was really surprised. But that 84 team, I mean, I look back on it now and appreciate the guys even more, which is hard. You know, you talked about, you know, the memories and things like that, but I think the appreciation of every one of the guys that you played with, I think keeps getting enhanced as time goes on. And certainly, you know, adding Hall of Famers doesn't hurt either, but, you know, you keep going back position by position and you're going, wow, that's a really good team.
There's no doubt. And I guess the thing is, and probably the advice that you would have for people that go through it, is you have to appreciate it, because I'm guessing in 1984, you probably thought you were going to get back there at some point. And you never know that it's not going to happen.
No, that's exactly right. You know, it's not easy to do, but you said, you know what, and everybody was young, and we lost, you know, some pieces, but I mean that next year we got off to a good start, and then, you know, a couple of guys went down with injuries, but all the pieces were kind of in place that you thought, you know, we're this team's going to be good for a very, very long time. And I think it just shows how hard it is to win unless you know, when you got a good nucleus of players like we did at that time, but everybody really had almost like career years at the same time. It's very difficult to duplicate that all in 1 year.
Hey, you're forever woven into the fabric of Detroit. Hey, Peaches, you know this guy. It's our house band right here. Peaches! You know, fired up house band. Let's go. Zebo, TSO.
That's not Z, is it?
That's Z. That's our house band.
Oh, see, that's what I mean. He's got my favorite haircut. I tell him that all the time.
Hey, Peaches, you're the best, man. Thank you. We appreciate it.
I love talking to you guys, and hopefully I'll see you at the Lions game soon. All right?
Let's do it. Appreciate you, Peaches. Dan
Thank you.
Petry joining us
Dan.
right there. World Series champion. Take a break. Come right back on the Sports Office. There it is. Keeps us entertained during the breaks. He can play.
It's all in those gloves.
That's our guy, Z. A little bit later this week, he'll join us with Deep Thoughts. We always look forward to that.
Oh, yeah.
Man, how much fun is Dan Petry? I mean, you got the
What a
history of
great
the
human.
1984 World Series, but just the experience of being able to talk about all the things that he can hit on and the things that he lived as a baseball player.
What I learned in '06 when he was sitting, in an office similar to this, not this exact office, but watching the playoff games, holding the baseball like he would always hold a baseball, and just you could ask him questions about what was going on. He would share stories, and you really understood what these players are going through. It was really fascinating back then, and throughout the years, he's just been fantastic.
Yeah, and the thing about Peaches too is, Michael Harris said to me once, he goes, "You don't get the nickname Peaches unless everybody knows you're a great guy," which he is. He's a phenomenal guy, but there's this intensity in him that I've seen just a couple times where you just see him kind of just, his brow just kind of goes like that, and you just see him dial in, which you had to as a major league pitcher. Oh, yeah. But he's the nicest, sweetest man that you ever meet, and you could just sit there and talk to him, and you can't leave a conversation without smiling. But when you see that side of him, you understand what allowed him to be a major league pitcher. There is something you've got to have, an edge, a toughness, all those things where that nice guy Peaches goes away.
Now, I have that in the 7-day forecast. When it's time for the 7-day forecast, man, I get deep down, and let it rip.
When someone criticizes you for extra snow or you getting something slightly wrong, yeah.
Game on.
There it is.
They're the best. Because you catch the grief, too.
I get it.
You're either right or you catch grief as a weatherman. You're like a closer. You either finish the game or you're a bum.
In The Godfather, when they're in Cuba and he says, "This is the life we've chosen."
Exactly right.
And so this is the life we've chosen.
Yeah. That's a good line.
That is a good line.
It is a good line.
Yeah.
It is a good line.
That's a good scene.
Yeah. Do you watch the football game, Michael?
Yeah. It's a serious part of the movie.
Yeah, it is, and it ends up being very serious.
Very serious.
All right, so we got a Zoom call?
We do.
What we got?
We got Fabian.
Hey! What's going on?
How we doing, crew? How we doing?
Fantastic.
Hey, Rich and the crew. Hey, Dan.
Hey, we're fantastic. You getting ready for Sunday?
I'm getting ready for Sunday. Won't get here fast enough, but I'm
Hey,
gonna be patient.
this is the Vikings. I know they're struggling, but that probably makes them even more dangerous. And anytime you got Jefferson coming in, I'm concerned. So you better be ready. We all got to be ready.
I know it's I slipped up last week talking about that Michigan game. I forgot that playing against them was like a championship game. So I'm gonna be careful this week with Minnesota because I know they're a little antsy right now. Well, we got some defense coming back, so we should be good.
Yeah,
It'll be a good game.
We'll get BB back. That's definitely going to help. Maybe get Avonte Maddox back. We'll see what happens with Kirby the rest of the week, but it's good to get him back. What's that say behind you?
It says, raise the roar.
Oh, raise the roar. Okay.
I got it from Myers, Rich.
Woo. Hey, I was at, we had this station function. We got to go to break. They're telling me. We was at this station function, and I said, yeah, we got Fabian who always joins us from Meyer. And somebody said, well, she probably gets paid to join you from Meyer. I'm thinking in my head, ain't America great?
Hey, it's all good. I love the theme that I do when I go up there, so it works for me.
Hey, buy something for us. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you.
Take a break.
Thanks for having
We're coming right back. Final segment. If you want to join us right there. Really?
Right there.
You got it. Woo.
We maybe just put a mark right there and say Dan Finger here. And then you can find out
Be
the
careful.
QR code for the Zoom. All right, ready, Z?
Oh, yeah.
Go, man. Go a cappella.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Right back. There it is, Z playing us back in. So we got World Series game number 4 tonight. Toronto needs to win to even the series, and all they're staring at is Shohei Ohtani.
Who reached base 9 times yesterday.
Yeah, it is
It's unbelievable.
tonight. Last time out, struck out 10.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
It's a generational player, big time. Very exciting to watch.
Never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all been watching baseball for a long time, and this is unbelievable, which is why you get $750 million, 770 or whatever it is, $770 million.
Worth
Hey, man,
every
good
penny.
stuff tonight. Thanks to Luderman. Thanks to
Thank you,
Candace.
Dan.
Thanks to
Thank
you
you,
for
Greg.
joining us on the Sports Office. Thanks to Dan Petry, man. They just don't get any better than him. We enjoyed talking baseball and Tigers with him. We are out of here. First and North is up next on the stream.
Peace.